everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
All right, so thank you so much for coming out. I am your newly elected Councilwoman, Keosha B. Bell, here in City of South Fulton, specifically here in District 5. And so I thank you all for coming out. Thank you for being a resident. Thank you for ringing the bell for change. But most importantly, thank you for being active. We need residents and a community who can thrive together, work together, and be unified. And so some of the things that I plan on doing will take the help of each and every one of you. And so tonight, I am going to give everyone an opportunity. I know people have said, where has she been? What is she doing? And even though I'm just a little bit over 30 days, we've been doing a lot of work. And so each and every person that is represented tonight, we are creating plans, action plans, strategic plans on how we can take back District 5, how we can improve our communities, how we can provide safer neighborhoods and communities for each and every one of you, for your family, for your children, for your grandbabies, for sisters, brothers, everybody. And so I wanted to plan tonight's event on Let's Talk. It's all about meeting and greeting and becoming a little bit more personable with your newly elected councilwoman. So I definitely want to give you all a round of applause for coming out tonight and being a part of this. So it is dear to me, community service, being out in our community, really being active, showing up and showing out is my goal. And so I'm giving each of you an opportunity tonight to kind of voice your concerns. If you have a question, we have everybody represented here from our very own City of South Fulton, from economic development, from our South Fulton Police Department. We have the chief here in attendance, to even our Parks and Recreation directors, our code enforcement, sanitation, and public works. And Mr. McClendon will be joining us soon from CDRA, which is Community Development and Regulatory Affairs. So everyone is represented here tonight. We want to thank Tommy Nova Center. You will hear from them shortly. We want to thank our Commissioner, Marvin Arrington, and Mr. Jarrell for being here. And again, the City of South Fulton. But special thanks and special praises go to our community mother. Many of you know her, but Mother Mumford, who made this whole experience. So we thank you for being a part of this evening's Let's Talk conversations. And so this is all about a conversation. In order to get things right, we need to know what the expectations are for residents, for our community, but also let you know my expectations as your newly elected city councilwoman. And so we have taken these last 30 days to create policies, to create strategies and plans on what we can do to not only aid each and every one of you in our neighborhoods, but Camelot. I know that's been a big question for many of our residents here in the City of South Fulton. What are we going to do? And so it's not just about Camelot. It is a very important piece of the puzzle, but it's about each and every one of you. We want to attack or provide a solution to the problems that you all may have. And so I believe in being result-oriented. I believe in developing a plan and executing that plan in decency and in order and professionalism. Now, many of you know our council is represented by 6 women. We have 6 women and 1 male. And so that is great. Yes. So women, we are taking over, we're moving up, but it's also about having a standard. And for me, as mentioned during my campaign, being and remaining professional, staying out of any additional conversations if it does not have anything to do with moving this city forward, moving our district forward. And so I stand as an individual, but I also stand as another community member, as another resident here in District 5. And so it's important for me to act on exactly what I promised each and every one of you throughout this campaign. And so I am beyond ecstatic. I am excited about serving this community, being great representation, providing better governance, ceasing the foolery, but also coming to you and taking and listening and being an open ear to listen to each of your concerns and see what we can do about providing a real solution. You know, I don't want to make up things and make promises that I can't keep, as I did in my campaign. So some of the things that we're working on is better senior activities and care, senior programs. We have many of them in our Parks and Rec already, but really amplifying those activities for our seniors, making sure we have activities for our youth and young adults, which is why Tommy Novus Center is here. In addition to that, making sure we provide resources for our community as it relates to those who may have special needs, special disabled population. You know, we want to make sure that we have safer communities. And as you see throughout here, everyone should feel safe. Rest assured that you are in good hands in here tonight. And so again, thank you to our South Fulton Police Department and for all of the efforts that everyone is doing in our city. So again, tonight I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. Just to go over a little bit of information about improvements, enhancements, and things that we're working on here in our city. Again, as mentioned, creating new programs, creating new opportunities, bringing something that's innovative, but also fresh for our community. So we have a lot of events that will be planned right here in District 5, right here at Burdett Park. So we have to get back to understanding and amplifying our parks and our recreation. And I just want to, at this time, thank our parks directors, Mr. Tony Jordan, as well as Mr. Tenard Turner, for all of their efforts, even for today, in helping to put this together. In addition to that, again, as mentioned, my focus is about the people. I work for the people. I'm out with the people. I always tell people I look like this, but I'm about service. I'm about being out there. I'm about that life. And so when I mean life, I'm about the lives of the people who reside here in District 5, but entirely for our city. You know, it's not sitting behind an office door pushing papers. It's about rolling up my sleeves and really being out here with the community. So I want to hear what you have to say, your concerns, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. I want you to know that you have a council person that is going to have an ear that I can lend you both of them, but I need to keep one of my ears, but I still want to be able to hear whatever complaints, concerns, disgruntles that you may have as it relates to our city. Because in order to move forward, we've got to clean up some things, okay? So my focus and my mission is all about serving the people. I've been serving in this community well over 10 years. I worked under the leadership of Dr. Mark Baker. We've planned a lot of activities, a lot of events, even helped to pass legislation that are already passed within our city. And so I will plan to amplify those works and continue to serve our community. So we've got a lot of things in store for all of the residents for District 5. We're going to be having some resource fairs. We're going to have resident resource fairs. We have a jazz night that's going to be planned. We have a movie on the lawn that's going to be planned. We're going to have home buying workshop, culture and art. So we're going to be focusing on everything here in the city of South Fulton, specifically in District 5. And so one thing that I want to introduce to each and every one of you, you'll be the first to hear. The people that are watching online, I thank you for tuning in. I know a lot of people had Bible study or had to work, but we have decided, myself, residents, this is not about me. This is about the community. And as mentioned during my campaign, my whole focus was creating a community advisory board. And so tonight, without further ado, you will actually have an opportunity to sign up to become a friend of Old National.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and so have t-shirts that are going to be available for those individuals who really want to take our city back. And so we will have Friends of Old National District, and it is for not only just District 5, but those who may reside in District 6 and District 7. And amongst ourselves on council, District 5, 6, and 7, it takes a teamwork to make the dream work. We want to have changes, but we also understand the importance of working together. And so I am introducing tonight for those individuals who really want to see change, impact the lives of others, but also be a voice, an active voice of the community, an active voice of the community, not a complainer, not a gossiper, but an active voice of the community to say, I'm signing up. I want to be a part of our community. I love my community so much that I am going to take some action, work together with other residents, and let's see what type of plans that we can have. You know, a lot of times we have city council meetings, they're posted, and we have very little turnout. We have very little turnout when it comes to voting, but this, Friends of Old National, will give you an opportunity to voice your concerns in a strategic, planned manner and be a part of something new. And so if you are interested in signing up, there is a sign-up sheet. We will provide all of the information at a later date on our first meeting. What that means. Wearing this shirt is not just about sleeping in it. It's about representing our community as a whole and standing up and taking the challenge and charging individuals to make a difference. No longer throwing cups out. You are a Friend of Old National, so it is your responsibility to make sure that our neighborhoods are clean. Make sure you're reporting information to See Click Fix. Make sure that you're contacting me or my office. I have not gotten an assistant yet. However, one is coming. And so I still want to be the voice of my district and still have that opportunity for each of you to reach out to me. So I am going to be having a newsletter. I will start email blasts. You will receive mailers because I want you to be involved as a community. I cannot do this by myself. And so I challenge each and every one of you who are a part of District 5, who are here today, who are in this room, to really grab your neighbors and say, hey, let's support our newly elected councilwoman and let's see what we can do to move our district and our city forward. Okay? And does that sound good? We have a lot of representatives here and residents from Camelot. I appreciate you all being out here because that is a concern. That is a concern not just for District 5, but also in our city, as well as Pointer Ridge, as well as Fieldwood, as well as our other neighborhoods that are represented here tonight. But we have to work together as a community. And so I am dedicated to being here, being good representation, staying out of the chaos, staying in my lane, but also working with each and every one of the individuals behind me so that we can actively move this city forward. This week, I am happy to announce that, I haven't seen them come in, but we have a new establishment, a new restaurant that will be grand opening on Friday. It's called Hungry AF. It's going to be in the grown folks.
It's one here in College Park.
It's going to be one here in our city of South Fulton. The owner is the owner of 5 additional Hungry AFs. We know what the AFs mean. We won't need to know what that is. But we will be doing a grand opening on Friday. It's right in the Grown Folks Shopping Center, or the actual plaza. And if many of you knew Jason and his late,
Yes.
who owned the print shop, that has actually been turned into Hungry AF.
Okay.
So we will have this upcoming Friday, which is the 23rd, we will have the grand opening for Hungry AF. He is another member of Black Excellence, another member of our community, but he also has 5 Hungry AFs. He's also the owner of Tulum, that many people have heard about, and he's also the owner of Sea Salt, which is located up in the Buckhead area. So again, we are focusing on bringing things that the community wants. We know we need sit-down restaurants. We know we need more family entertainment areas. And so with each of you working together, working with me, we can bring that, working with our economic development. And so at this time, I just, again, want to welcome each and every one of you. I'm going to let these t-shirts just sit here so it can manifest in your spirit. And we're going to move forward with our program and just give everybody an opportunity that is seated behind me to introduce themselves, to let you know how we are working to benefit our community one step, one day at a time. It takes a journey, but every journey starts by you taking your first step. And so that is important for you all taking those steps and being present here tonight. This shows me that you are concerned about your district, but concerned about your city as a whole. And so I am, again, forever grateful for having each and every one of you here tonight. And at this time, we are going to have our first department come up, introduce themselves, and let you know some information that's in the works as far as District 5, but also let you know how they can be a resource. Let you know exactly what their roles are within our city of South Fulton, because we want to make sure that each of you as a resident has the information, but contacts the right person depending on your request or your concerns. And so at this time, I'd like to have Mr. Artie come up. He's our economic development, and then we also have code enforcement, public works. We have our South Fulton Department, Police Department. We have, of course, our Chief Jones with fire, and then we also have the one and only Mr. Burkett. So he's going to give you all some information that is going to be important in your journey moving in the next 4 years in the city of South Fulton, and specifically in District 5. So let's welcome them all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Bell. As Councilwoman Bell mentioned, my name is Artie Jones, and I serve as the Economic Development Director for the City of South Fulton, and I'm also the Executive Director over the 2 development authorities for the city also. The primary job for economic development is to attract new business, retain businesses that we want to stay here, to increase the tax base, and also to help to try to create jobs, and not just jobs, but jobs that provide a living wage. Not jobs that you have to have 3 or 4 of them to be able to make ends meet. Since I've been with the city of South Fulton over the last 20 months, I've had the opportunity to meet many people within the community and work with lots of individuals within the city of South Fulton, especially those on the Old National District. Districts 5, 6, and 7 are within the Old National District. The Old National District is an economic development organization that focuses redevelopment of the Old National area. This particular organization meets on the third Wednesday of each month, which they have a meeting on tomorrow, I believe. Yeah, they have a meeting on tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in learning more about the Old National District, please come to my office, which is 6385 Old National Highway, Suite 210. We're located in the LA Fitness Plaza between Family Dollar and Hibbett Shoes. We'll be there at 12 o'clock. That's when the meeting starts. Some of the upcoming projects that we have on the Old National District, one that I'm most excited about is, you guys may have realized that there was an LCI study that was completed on Old National. LCI stands for Livable Centers Initiative. That is a 35,000-foot view of redevelopment on Old National Highway. What I plan on doing using ARPA funding, American Rescue Plan Administration funding, is to use $250,000 to do an additional redevelopment plan of Old National Highway in addition to 2 other parts of the city. And this plan will not be a 35,000-foot view, but it'll be a 5,000-foot view to show block by block the redevelopment that we are planning to do in the Old National area. With this additional plan will be a marketing tool to be able to get retailers and commercial investment and some residential development within the Old National District. And this, like I said, will spread from districts 5, where Bank of America, where Bank of America is the beginning of the district, and it'll go all the way down to where Rick Ross's house is and Highway 138. This is an exciting project, and the thing about it is that the citizens, the community, will actually be able to come out and give feedback into this plan. Lots of times people will do plans and they will do these plans in a silo and they won't get feedback from the community and those things that they want in the community. Well, I feel it's very important, if you guys are going to own this plan, that you need to have feedback into this plan, because that plan are my marching orders to be able to try to bring those projects to fruition. So like I said, I'm very excited about it. If you guys would, please come out to the Old National District meeting on tomorrow. We have lots of things going on, lots of projects. At these community meetings, we will let you guys know kind of what, those businesses that are opening up. We will let you guys know of the new developments in the area, and we will also let you know of how you can take a more active role in development, especially on Old National Highway. Thank you.
How everybody doing? I am Officer Cody with the City of South Fulton Code Enforcement. I am newly promoted manager with Code Enforcement. I was the team lead over District 5, 6, and 7 on the south side. But now, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, name please.
Officer Cody.
Officer Cody.
Cody, yes.
C-O-D-Y.
P-O-D-Y.
Some people spell it different. Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, you will.
Thank you.
And so, like I was saying, I just recently got promoted as one of the managers of the City of South Fulton Code Enforcement. So now I'm able to move back and forth from the north side to the south side. And one of our main goals in code enforcement is to help beautify the community, also answer any alleged violations that you may have. And a lot of the violations that we have been getting, it's been like maintenance of property, which is you basically keeping your property up from the grass cutting, outdoor storage. If you have an overflow of any household items outside and it's beginning to be an eyesore to the community, and a lot of vegetation that some owners have on their property that they may not take into consideration into keeping it trimmed. And we get a lot of calls with vehicles parked on the street and basketball goals in the cul-de-sac. So one of our main goals is to make sure that we answer and respond to the client requests and what they need at the time, and to actually educate them first before we actually write anybody a citation. So with this position that I'm in now, I can move from one side of town to another to actually be more available for the citizens when they have those type of questions in hand. And further into it, we also have what you call a code board committee team, and we meet, it's called a code board committee team. And what we do, we meet every second and fourth Tuesday of the month. And what we do on that committee team, we actually answer the violations that been appointed to us, and we take them to this code board to see can we cure, rectify, or come up with an adjudication of the case. And depending on the egregious violation that they may have, determines what the outcome of that case would be. Moving forward with that, sometimes you may have a citizen that they won't answer that code board hearing. Well, we have another step where we take them to municipal court. So sometimes they can skip code board and go straight to municipal court. And if it goes to municipal court, that's a whole another level that we have to actually go through the judge, have the hearing, and then decide the case from there. Sometimes the municipal court may take a little longer than normal. So we try to handle everything in code board because you get a quicker, better, faster result in code board. So we have officers out that actually perform in different districts, and then you have your supervisors that over certain districts or maybe multiple districts. But past that, your managers and director, you know, we kind of move around as we see fit. And so I'm here today representing the City of South Fulton Code Enforcement, and we are under the direction of Paul Mott. So y'all have any questions?
I do.
Yes, ma'am.
So do we have an officer that's assigned to particular areas?
Yes, we do.
Okay, so
We
for
do.
the Fairwood Road area, is there a particular person whose name you can share?
Well, so what I can do, I can give you my business card, and then you can give me a call, and then I can reach out to you and give you that officer that's assigned to Fairwood, because the schedule that we have, they are either 8 or 10-hour shifts. So during this week of the President's Day, they work in 8-hour shifts, so the officers leave a little early than normal, but they'll normally work a 10-hour shift. So when I give you that card, you can reach out to me, and then we can stay in communication with each other, and I can appoint you to the right officer that can actually go over to the Fairwood area for you.
Okay, one other question, if you don't mind, I'll be brief. So how proactive is code enforcement in terms of spotting violations and acting on those? Are you waiting to hear from residents for violations?
Okay, so I can answer that question. So code enforcement is proactive, like really around the clock. And what I mean by that, when we go out to an area, if we see something, we do what you call, well, we create that case. And then if we see the case need to be created, we'll go and take pictures first. We'll get out the truck, we'll take pictures first, and we'll take pictures of the exact address wherever that violation exists at. Then we will put that case in SAGES, and then we will come up with that case number. And the good thing about it is that we can transfer that same case from the phone to our computer to complete it. Now, I think one of the issues is that when that happens, we hear a lot about the citizens saying that we don't call them or we don't communicate with them. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It just depends on the officer. But we would definitely take that violation and create a case. But what we always tell the client is to go to the City of South Fulton website, and you can always do an open records request. And sometimes they may know the steps, sometimes they may not know the steps, but I can't speak for every officer. But if you reach out to me, I can make sure what you're looking for get done, even if I don't. I can point you in the right direction with the officer.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a quick question. If you already have an active case going on,
Yes.
but to fix that violation, you're messing with other property that's gonna cause a violation. You understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so I think this is, and stop me anytime. If you have a current violation and you see a violation on another property, we may impede on that property with a violation.
Yes, but what I'm trying to get to, who do you direct it to if you see the violations that are active and has a deadline to be fixed,
Okay,
but they're taken from other buildings that are not in violation, but to fix them, but those other buildings are gonna come in violation?
so, are you
I
talking
just
about
need to
Camelot
talk.
and, are you talking about Camelot and Justice? Okay, so, what I would say about Camelot, because I don't want to speak too much on that, because it's
Yes.
a lot of hands involved with Camelot, so I don't want to give you the wrong information. I want to give you the exact information when it comes to Camelot, because that's real sensitive area. So, what I would say on Camelot is to get with the HOA president, and that that question, I would leave up to my director to actually answer for you, because you have property owners in Camelot that own properties, but every person don't own, the same properties there. So it's different ownership in Camelot, and we actually trying to get that resolved so we can make the necessary changes. But that's a team member from the police department, fire department, every, all kind of hands on. So that's something I didn't want to reach to.
So, I understand the point that you're trying to get to. There has been a really specific timeline for things that should be fixed in the Camelot community.
Yes.
And to your point, we don't expect that they would take from one area just to fix up another area that would cause additional problems. And so when those sort of things are coming, we need to make sure that those things are being reported
Okay.
to code enforcement so that the fines will not stop, right? The citations will not stop because of this decree that they're under. If new violations are created, then my expectation, our expectation is that those new violations will be cited. But it's gonna require communication, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna have to let us know,
Okay.
and we'll make
See,
sure.
that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah.
Do you go to the police or do you go to,
It's a code enforcement issue.
enforcement, okay.
But it's one of the things that we're tackling together.
Yes.
So my preference would be that it's done in cooperation with our community policing section
Okay.
and code enforcement.
thank you.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Is, Carter is, the 18-wheeler truck, yes, sir. The 18-wheeler truck. Now, y'all been told this person one time, y'all give them a warning first, or what do y'all do?
So the proper steps with 18-wheeler, what we would normally do, if it's on the roadway, we will appoint that to the right department and make sure that they in touch to get that done. But if it's on the property, then it's a code violation. And we tackle it from there, and we give them a NOV first, which is a notice of violation to move the truck. And they have like 7 to 10 days to move it. Then if they don't move it, by then we take the next step to take them to code board. And so even if the truck is moved after we take them, after they are eligible for code board, we still take them to code board because they violated by still staying on the property. And they did move the truck in the allotted time that was allowed to move it.
This truck was on, when I sent you the picture, it was on the road. Somebody came back and told them to park it in the driveway. And I'm like, that is still a violation.
No, ma'am, you can't park it in the driveway.
Well, he did.
When you're dealing with that, now you're dealing with the weight requirements, and plus it's a commercial vehicle parked in the driveway, so you can't.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Cole, how often do you code enforcement in the neighborhood?
They should come through regular, like, it's not a set time, but it's a consistent time. So, you may have some come through, if they, clock in at 7, they'll work from 7 to 5:30. You may have some work from, 8 to 6. Just depends on their schedule, but they should come through the neighborhood on a consistent basis, which is like all the time.
So if they see a violation present, what do your code enforcement officers do?
Okay, so if it's a present violation,
Yes, sir.
like I said earlier, we'll take a picture of it and we'll create a case. Now, if the client call and tell us it's a violation and we go out there and it's not a violation, this is what I like to do. I like to actually contact the client and let the client know that I don't see a violation, but here's my card. We'll monitor the situation and let you know if you see it again, because sometimes the violations will happen late in the evening or overnight, and we're not seeing that. And so what we do and what I do is let the client know to send me those pictures. And sometimes we will have to go off the clock to go over there and take pictures with our phone to match up with the pictures with the current phone to actually start a case on that.
What's the best way to reach code enforcement, your information, if they have a case?
The best way, I think one of the best ways to reach us is to actually come to the department. So you could come and see us at Stonewall Tail, but we have the number on the website as well. We have them on the website as well. You can reach out that way, or you can reach us through C-Click Fix.
So C-Click Fix
Yes.
is the best way.
So
Yes,
is there a way to file a complaint on the website?
Yeah, you can file a complaint through C-Click Fix.
And they need to attach pictures with C-Click.
Yes, they need to
Fix,
attach the pictures, their email, and their cell phone number.
and they'll receive a,
Acknowledgement through C-Click Fix, and then that's when we will reach back out to them. And sometimes we won't call, we'll reach back out through C-Click Fix, so it's very important for them to actually keep up with the C-Click Fix once they reach out to us.
okay.
Yes, sir.
I think you answered earlier, you and I talked about it briefly. So the agents, they are able to come to your property and take pictures of your,
We can only come up to so many feet of the property. If we have to come past that property, it's two ways we can do it. We either have to be delivering a door hanger, or we have to actually get escorted by PD to come past that property, because that's when, our safety is involved. So we can't go past that property too much unless it's for that, or we allowing a door hanger on your door to reach out to you. Yes,
You
ma'am.
might like to answer this. How can City of South Fulton get the renters to put their correct address on there, on the property thing outside saying they live in South Fulton when they live in Jamaica or, Africa? So,
Yeah, that'll be something, if that happens,
I'm just asking a question because that'll read some of the problem with the HOA, COA and all like that. Even though I know how to do it, but it's not my job to continue to do it.
yes, ma'am.
So how can we get them to put their correct address on the property to, so y'all can know and we know who they are?
On that, I really don't have an answer for you for that one, so I'm gonna be honest with you. Any more questions? Okay, thank you.
You got one in the back.
Yes, sir.
I'm looking at the news,
Uh-huh.
going to the ladies here, question here. They asked about how often the frequency of riding in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
Now, is it true that in South Fulton, the code enforcement, if they ride through the neighborhood, they can pass 10 violations. If they don't have it recorded in some C-Fix, they don't have any, they would not stop, they will not ride with it.
Oh, well, I won't say that.
And this is what I've been told about, from code enforcement, before the time.
Okay, so if that happened, that was probably an old regime. If I come through your neighborhood and I see a violation, I stop on the spot. No matter if I got a current violation or not, I'm gonna check Sages and see if that property has a violation.
Okay, other question is, some time ago, there was talk about code enforcement coming on the chief, on the top of the,
Yes.
police department. What's the status of that?
Now that's on the chief. Those questions there. Yeah, I don't get into those questions. That's on the chief level. He can answer that probably better than I can. I'm just a manager. I know higher than that, so. Yeah. That's it. Yes, ma'am.
Is there a list of violations on your website? What's considered a violation?
It should be a list of violations on the website. If not, like I said, I can give you the business card, and you can contact me, and I can see about getting a brochure with a list of violations for you. Okay, how you doing, Ms. Childs?
I'm good.
Yes, ma'am.
How long is the violation in effect? When is it supposed to be corrected?
Well, so the first violation is 7 to 10 days. That's the first violation. So after that 7 to 10 days, if contact is not made with that code enforcement officer, we come back out and retake another set of pictures, because that's the second time we come out, then we proceed through the next channel, which would be code water, municipal court. So they have a 7 to 10 day window.
If I have reported a violation that exceeds that time limit, what's
the next procedure?
Well, if it exceeds that time limit, then you just get in touch with the officer.
I mean, it's been years.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, then you gotta put it back in C-click fix. If it's been years like that, either just get in touch, reach out through C-click fix like you normally do, and one of us will respond to you, and see about looking up that case or that address and see how we can proceed with, resolving that issue for you, because, you know, I dealt with you a lot, so. That's it? Okay.
Thank you so much. So at this time, we'd like to recognize our City of South Fulton Mayor, Mayor Khalid Kama.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, this is an excellent turnout. Will you give your new councilwoman a round of applause for putting this together? And I believe whenever we have evening meetings, we should have food, so thank you for feeding the people. A couple quick things. I heard a lot of people ask about code enforcement issues and C-click fix. Just by a show of hands, how many of you have C-click fix on your phone and use it? All right, so those of you all who don't have it, I want you to take out your phones. If you have a smartphone, you got a smartphone with a big screen, take it out. I want you to go to your Android or iPhone, your iTunes store, wherever you download your apps. I want you to take that out and you're going to download the app. It's called C-Click Fix. My phone is over there, so anyway, you won't be able to see it anyway. But we have this app. It's called C.Click.Fix. If you have any problems in the city of South Fulton, what this app allows you to do is take a picture of the problem, and then it sends the problem directly to the department. So if you're sitting next to someone, raise your hands if you all have the app on your phone. Raise your hands, raise your hands. So you got some C-Click Fix experts that can tell you how to download the app. But what's really, honestly, what's really great about the app, and we're working on making it a little bit easier to use, but what's really wonderful about the app is, like, say, it's not just for code enforcement issues. You can see it if there's trash on the road, if there's an area that needs to be cut, you know, in the right of way, if there's a pothole, if there's a light out, almost if there's a dead animal in the road, almost any problem that you can think of that occurs in the city, you can take a picture of it. The app will automatically encode the address, right? You got your, you know, these phones, they track everywhere we go and they track everything that you do. So if you take a picture of a broken street light out here, it'll automatically have the address encoded in the picture, and then all you have to do is search street light, and it'll send it to the Public Works Department or whichever department needs to have it. The other thing that's great about using C-Click Fix is it will ask you for your email address, and it will give you updates on whether the case has been closed, whether it's been resolved. We did have an issue at one point where we were closing out cases without resolving them, but you're gonna find out whether it's doing that or not. It will also let you know who else in your neighborhood has reported that problem, right? So we can all be the eyes of the city. It's a really great app. So please download it. We've got some Wi-Fi. You can download it really fast on the Wi-Fi, and there are citizens and staff here that will help you learn how to use the app and navigate the app. The next thing, we had a question about code enforcement. So the city of South Fulton decided, the city council decided to keep code enforcement and police separate, so they're gonna be separate for a while. We're getting, under a previous administration, under a previous city manager, not talking about previous mayor, but under a previous city manager, we had these really big departments, and they weren't necessarily talking to one another, so we're trying to make the departments smaller and keep them in small units so that there's just better feedback with the constituents and things don't get lost in the whole bureaucracy. We have an incredible city manager. I'm hoping that she will become our permanent city manager. You want to stay tuned for our next couple of city council meetings. The next city council meeting may be here. but if you will also, do me a favor, if you have not received the mayor's text messages or emails or alerts, because we'll let you know where the meeting is. We'll let you know about where you can go to get your permits and all that. I know that was covered today, but it's just a lot of great information. You can text the word Fulton, Fulton, to 33777. Text the word Fulton to 33777. It'll let you know about all of the events that we have going on in the city, any special alerts we have about whether City Hall's closed or whether we're moving the city council meeting to a different location. And that's all I have. Anybody got any couple questions? Yes, ma'am.
Mayor, I've called and talked to City of South Fulton a lot of times, but I don't get anybody to answer the phone. What's going on with that?
We're getting better at that. We did have that issue. Where's Yusuf? Yusuf always here. He is my public advocate. So I will give you my number. It is 404-545-3900. I have cards. I'm a texter, so it's because I'm usually in a meeting. You can text me. But my office number is also on here. So if you have that issue and you don't get an answer at City Hall, if you don't get an answer by using our 311 number, you all know about our 311 number? Yeah. Okay, so that number is, I'm giving you lots of numbers. I hope y'all got pens and pads. Yes, my number is 404-545-3900. Now don't call me first, call me second. But the number that I really want you to have is our 311 number. It's just like C-Click Fix, but instead of it being an app, it's a call center, and someone will answer the phone there. That number is 470-552-4311. We're working on getting to just 311, but right now it's 470-552-4311.
Thank you.
All right, I'm coming to you, but I saw this gentleman back here first.
One of the good things about it is you can remain anonymous.
You can.
The app, is it SEE?
SEE.
Okay.
Click Fix. You can download it from the iTunes or the Android App Store. Go
The
ahead.
information that you put in there now, when you put your phone in there, even though it says anonymous, ask some questions from the officer, from that department, they will call you.
Yes, they will call you, but they're not going to go to your neighbor and say, Mr. Jones reported your car on 4 bricks in the street. Go ahead, young lady.
How you doing, Mayor? Can you please tell me what is other options? And I'm coming to you instead of the police force, to our chiefs, because I don't talk to them. But when you have a person that has an active arrest warrant on them, but our system is down and the officer have to let him go, I'm coming to you because you're the mayor. How can we fix that? I know our system is down with the issue with Fulton County. Okay, that's understandable. But when you have someone that is committing a crime, I don't want to pull out all my police reports, but they have an active warrant, but it can't be verified.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to talk with the police chief on the side,
Because
because I don't have an answer for that. The police chief doesn't report to me. He reports to the city manager. That's a city manager, police chief question. I'm sure you got an answer.
Oh, I got an answer.
You wanna come here right now? Because maybe somebody else has that question.
And I need the answer.
So we've had some challenges lately. And so one of the things that we've been working on for the past year in the city of South Fulton is moving all of our stuff to the cloud. Our reporting management system right now is being built out in the cloud. Most of our warrants and things of that nature, we have a little over 1,000 arrest warrants right now in the city of South Fulton, and we're in the process of digitizing all of that information and sending it to the cloud so that we won't have a repeat of this. We started our process a little over a year ago. And so unfortunately, all of this happened right before we finished our process. We were supposed to be rolling it out in March of this year. But we've been kind of put behind an 8-ball, so to speak, and we haven't been able to do that. So I've spoken with Fulton County. They've put us back on track. We're probably looking closer to the end of March when most of our processes, the process will be up and running. Well, it's up and running this week, but our system in the cloud will be up and running next month.
So is there a way, if I have an actual warrant for someone, and it is an active warrant, I know I can't bring you the warrant and say this is active, you can't go off my word, but it got to be some kind of way because this person is still committing a crime on the property.
Was this a warrant that was taken out in the city of South Fulton?
No, the warrant was issued by the judge in Superior Court of Fulton County.
So if we have, like I said, we have over 1,000 warrants in our system right now. We have hard copies of all of our warrants.
Okay.
If there's a warrant that you're aware of, we can verify it through Superior Court if you bring that information to us.
I'll be here, thank you.
Yeah, and then we can go execute that
Okay.
warrant
Thank
at any time. What we don't have the ability to do is access other folks. Well, we can access other folks' warrants. It's just the system in Fulton County. We usually do it through GCIC, NCIC, which is a national database.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I'm gonna hang around in the back for a few minutes, and I know the rest of the staff will be here, so you guys can get one-on-one time, and if you have individual cases. I will say that, big picture, we are working really hard. We decided to become a city, right, because we weren't getting the level of service that we wanted from the county. And we're working very hard to become completely independent, right? We have plans in the works for our own 911 operations center. It's going to be a couple of years down the road. We're working on it. We're working on emergency transport services, so folks don't have to wait, hours for Grady or whoever to come, Rural Metro, or whoever we had before that. And we are also buying lots of land and buildings so that we can own our own future. In the past year, about the past year and a half, we bought nearly 100 acres of land. We have this, you may have heard that we had a mold problem in the building that we're in. That's a lease building. Fortunately, just last month, we had bought our own building. It's not big enough to house all our 600 plus employees, but it's big enough to house some of them. So we weren't as affected as we might have been if we weren't making those preparations. So I want you to know that the city manager and the staff are doing yeoman's work, trying to set us up so that we are independent from the county and just accountable directly to you all. So I hope that you all text the word Fulton to 33777, that you can find out about all of the incredible things that are happening in our city. I want you to get ready for our city anniversary. May 1st will be our 7th anniversary as a city. We're gonna have a big celebration. We're gonna do a big celebration for Juneteenth as well. So we want you to come out for all of the great things that are happening in the city of South Fulton. South Fulton, forever.
Thank you. We're gonna go to Mr. Clinton. We are, and then we'll circle back around because we know our police chiefs probably have the most questions, and we'll wait till the end for any questions.
Perfect, thank you. I'm Reginald McClendon. I'm the Managing Director of Community Development and Regulatory Affairs for the City of South Fulton. That's a department that has a long name, but what we basically do is we handle all of the development services for the city, that is permitting, engineering, planning and zoning, as well as business licenses, and we are technically over code enforcement as well, even though Director Muhammad handles the day-to-day of code enforcement. And I don't think I missed anything, but I might have. But that's what we do with our department. Where we really like our citizens to get involved is to pay attention to the city's calendars. Every month we have planning commission meetings, and most months we also have meetings of our zoning board of appeals, which is where we have members of the community, just like you all, who will make decisions on people who are coming to the community and want to have certain types of development in the city. And so you all are invited to come out to those meetings that are normally held at City Hall. And we also have public hearings in front of our mayor and council at our city council meetings. And so with that being said, I'll open up for any questions.
We're gonna move to the next, and then we'll hold questions to the end, Mr. Ballard.
Good evening, District 5. Thanks so much, Councilwoman Bell, for inviting me to be part of this meeting. My name is Antonio Valenzuela, Public Works Director for the City of South Fulton. Appreciate all of the prior comments and introduction. I think my introduction for Public Works is going to be much quicker, since they already talked about signal fix, code enforcement, and CDRA. Our main task for Public Works is to maintain the infrastructure for the City of South Fulton. Anything that you see on the roads, that is our responsibility to maintain. We have a small section for planning and engineering. We are responsible for creating T+1 for the City of South Fulton. That brought us about $70.5 million for the city. T+2, we were successful in bringing that up for the city as well, another $90.3 million. So within those programs, we have multiple meetings with the entire community. Back then when we were with Fulton County, and after when we were under the City of South Fulton, we were able to discuss with the community on what project were the needs for each district. You all picked the projects, you all picked the resurfacing and the roads that were needed. Now we are in a position to start implementing what we promised to you. We also have construction and operations. Construction operations does all the maintenance of the roads, potholes, sinkholes, road repaving, resurfacing, thermoplastic, and so on. Traffic operations, we do the maintenance of about 76 traffic signals throughout the city of South Fulton, and a small section that's dedicated to ensure that all the signals are being maintained and operational. Sometimes it happens that a signal goes down 3 o'clock in the morning. There's an accident on a Saturday and a Sunday. We are there to ensure that the signals are back and operational. We also have over 10,000 on signs throughout the city of South Fulton. It is our responsibility to ensure that all the stop signs, the yield signs, this posted speed limit signs are up and running, that they're clean. If they are damaged, we have to replace those. Administration, we have a small group that ensures that the website is up to signal fix being looked at every day. We have personnel that look at signal fix through the hour, through the 8 hours of work. They're looking into it. The best way for us is to receive your request through signal fix, so we can document it and ensure that we're doing the right thing for you. If you send me an email, by the time I receive the 300 emails, 400 emails that I receive a day, I might miss your request. But if you put a signal fix, we have the best way to monitor what was responded, what's pending, and the reason why perhaps taking a little longer to respond. We also are in charge of MS4 to ensure that all our inlets are clean, that all the gutters are clean, free of debris, free of pine trees, free of leaves that comes from the trees, and most of the time comes from private property. So we're working with code enforcement to ensure that that the leaves are not pushed into the road, that the gutters are clean so that water can run smoothly and not clog our inlets. When we have issues with inundation and flooding, we go out there, and it's because those inlets are full of leaves and pine needles and so on. We want to ask that we work together to ensure that whoever is putting those leaves right there, do not. If it drops from the private tree, we pick those out, put the bags out there, and our sanitation group will pick those up. Solid waste is also part of public works. If you need anything, any questions on solid waste, we'll be glad to provide to you any questions that you may have. The street lights, it's also our responsibility. When we were formed by the City of South Fulton, we had under 4,000 street lights. Now we have over 10,000 street lights. and we're still constantly assessing and responding to your requests and ensuring that the lights are back on your request. And another thing that I want to ask you that we have made a lot of progress within our website. I want to ask you that when you have a chance, take a look at the website. And the website, we have real-time information to every single project that we're working on. There are links right there, easy access. You can click and go straight to District 5. You can go straight to a project, look at the pictures, look at the status, what we're doing, and so on. You should be able to see the maintenance schedules, the street sweeper schedules, as well as anything related to the street light outages. If the lights are not working, you have Georgia Power, proper numbers, Greystone, Coweta, and so on. So if there's something with watershed, it's done by the Civil Lantern. If anything done with sewage, it's done with Fulton County. Anything with lights, street lights, it is with the power companies. So if you call me, I want to have to pick up and try to get as much information from you so we can work on your behalf. But the best way is to go directly to the providers and they will assess to you. If they don't respond to you, we'll be glad to provide you any support that you need. And the public work, we also have adopt the road ordinance, no parking, traffic calming, and road closure. So if you need any of those applications that you want to request, it's also on the website. You can call us, you can request from us, but if you want to have quick access, you can access those things from the website. A few other projects that we have, I don't want to read verbatim, everything comes from Signal Fix. We got all the documentation and most of the requests that we receive are being handled. If we don't handle right away, it's because sometimes a particular project might appear that needs to be resolved within a week, but it becomes a capital project, especially when it comes to sinkholes and so on. It's because we do our assessments, we CCTV the lines, and we counter that those lines need to be replaced. In order to replace those, it takes a massive work. We need to hire a contractor and ensure that we have everything approved and proper contracts and so on, so we can resolve. Other projects in District 5, I would like to mention it. We're about to finish about $3 million worth of repairs on bridges. On District 5, we've done it Flat Shoals over Morning Creek, Flat Shoals over Morning Creek tributary, Buffington Road over Morning Creek, Overcook over Morning Creek, Mallory Road over CSX Railroad. Those repairs were completed for those bridges. Traffic operations, we've done some updates that you requested on Pierce Road, and we put new signs and so on. You can see our residents that live around those areas, you can see that you have new signs along those locations. A few other things on District 5. Illegal dumping. We want you to ensure that you work with code enforcement. We want you to take pictures if you see it, put it on Signal Fix. We're still picking up a lot of illegal dumping. I don't want to list the locations, but with code enforcement and IT, we have different ways on how possible can capture those people that are doing all the illegal dumping and us making to pick up in the tons for throughout the city of South Fulton. The street sweepers, all the roads that have curb and gutter are swept. Those street sweepers, they drive about 3 to 4 miles per hour. We have 2 street sweepers and 2 drivers that are constantly on roads that have curb and gutter. We do not sweep residential roads because we don't have the equipment, we don't have the stuff, and it should be your responsibility to ensure that your frontage of your household and also your residents are clean. Again, the street sweeper schedule is also on the website. Utility issues. If you see anything that the roads that the water is running out of proper location, it's in many instances because in the past those roads were built with open ditches. So those open ditches had a swell where the water is supposed to run down the slope, following the normal grade, and then discharge to a lower point. In some instances, those open ditches in the past, now they're filled. So there's not an open ditch. They become part of your yard. It shouldn't be that way. So that's when you're gonna see the water coming into your yard. Before it should run through an open ditch and then discharge. Okay, so we wanna make sure that if you still have an open ditch through your property, keep it as it is. Do not fill that up. We talk about solid waste. We appreciate everybody that helps out with Adopt the Road. We work with you all. We provide you some best, the proper guidance. We provide some trash pickers and bags to do your part that you're committed. With regards to resurfacing, we've done so far. We completed some of the roads. Perhaps the Delano Road. It was completed on February 16th. Coweta Trail was completed February 5th. Upcoming corridors, we have White City Road, Joshua, and Joshua Crossing as a subdivision. Additional project, we have corridors coming out for Tier 2. And on the T+2, we have 3 tiers. Tier 1, we're about to complete by the end of March, or mid-March. Then we have Tier 2, we want to start by March, mid-March or so on, and we're going to do everything possible to complete by the summer so we can start with Tier 3 and hope to complete before the winter of this year. So initially we wanted to complete in 2024, 25, 26, but we're compressing the schedule to make sure that we complete that. Those projects that we got identified in the T+2, which is about $22 million, $21 million and change. Those roads were already identified, as I mentioned before. We would like to do more. I know that we have much needs on resurfacing. I know that we cannot resurface every single road, but believe me, in the past 6 years, we have invested about $60 million worth of resurfacing projects. And we still have more to do. My goal, under the direction of the city manager, is to present another batch of roads that need to be resurfaced for next year's budget. I'll be presenting in June a new list of projects. But what I see is that so far, the city will need about $12 to $15 million worth of budget if we want to preserve the roads at a decent level of paving condition. Capital projects, those are the projects that goes over $50,000. We have a few coming in for District 5, such as Stack Road. It's a full depth reclamation. We have Stack Road over at the C6 at New Bridge. We have the ATMS from Flat Shoals, that it is a Flat Shoals Road that starts at Felgood going to Old National Highway. And we have a couple sidewalks that's listed around Flat Shoals Road, Old National Highway, Jerome Road, and Oldfield Cook. With that said, I'm pretty much done, complete, I'm full. So if you have any questions for me, I'll be glad to answer it.
We'll ask them at the end. Thank you.
Don't talk about that.
John?
Thank you, Antonio. Good evening. My name is Chad Jones, and I have the pleasure of being your fire chief. I want to point out a couple of my crew. Chief Parker, Chief Roner in the back are in field operations. Our Deputy Fire Marshal, Greg Chambers back there, they'll be moving around if they have any, if you have any questions. So your fire department, the mayor mentioned we're coming up on 7 years as a city. Your fire department's coming up on 6 years as a fire department. So we are young and we're growing and we're very excited about our future. As Councilwoman talked about, there's a lot of strategic planning going on now, and we're looking to see how we can better serve you. I want to go ahead and apologize a little bit. I'm dressed down today, as they said too, kind of moving out of City Hall. So all day your fire department has been moving departments and disinfecting and cleaning and helping to make sure that you have a safe environment to come to and for our employees to come. So a little dressed down today. So what does your fire department do for you? So every day, we run about 200 to 300 calls when you call 911, everything from EMS to fires to hazmat, auto extrications, full service fire department. The other thing a lot of y'all don't know, and something that we've been really proud of and working on, is our fire marshal's office. We expanded our personnel. We're getting out to all businesses, making sure that they're safe for you. We're inspecting them. on a yearly basis. We also have to go into the new Airbnbs. We're having to go into multifamily. So there's a lot of things, and that's one area we look for growth. Also, they're doing education. So they go to every school, especially third grade, every year to teach them. We have a new fire safety trailer that we're very proud of. We got in last year that we're able to take and teach the children about stop, drop, and roll, how to escape, other things like that. So we work well with all the departments you see behind us. We're kind of that department that kind of blends everything when they don't know where to go or how to go. Usually the fire department, we partner with can't even talk tonight, code enforcement, PD, sanitation, public works, communications. Almost every department, you'll see the fire department in there, even CDRA when it comes to permitting. So again, it's a department that's kind of in the background until you need us. But the other thing we want to talk about is safety. So right now, we are still seeing quite a bit of fires from unintentional set fires. So kitchen fires. For whatever reason, people are leaving their stoves, going to the store, they come back, we're having that. Also, it's unfortunate, but we do have ways to help if y'all notify the city. But we're having a lot of people use, when it gets cold, using their stoves for heat. And also using generators and using charcoal grills. So it's alternative ways that you know, let us know, we can try to help you. We do have grants and things like that, economic development, that we can help with, but we're seeing fires like that. The biggest thing that we're seeing also in your district is car accidents. Old National, I know 138 is not in yours, but Old National, we run daily car accidents. Y'all live here, y'all know it, and the speeds. So we're working with some calming devices, trying to help. But the thing is, just get the word out, slow down and wear your seat belts. We have a lot of car wrecks where the person is actually ejected because they're not wearing seat belts in this day and age. Other than that, we're here to answer any questions, and we're always here to help you with your fire department. Thank you.
District 5.
Hey, jeez.
How y'all doing tonight? You know what? Y'all shouldn't have any complaints. None in District 5 at all. Because it's kind of hard to complain when you put food in your mouth. Ain't that right, Mr. Dave? Your councilwoman did it big tonight, didn't she? Listen, I'm excited about all of the energy that Councilwoman Bell has come in with. It certainly has. Y'all can give it up for her.
Yes. Yes.
You know, she jumped in with both feet, and she's been a really good partner with the police department so far. As Chief Jones said, we're still very young, but we've grown so much as a police department. When I first got here, y'all, we had 87 police officers now. Can anybody guess how many we had then?
380.
200. We're right at 200. Ooh. And we're trying to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 350. We did a study at Georgia Tech a while back, and Georgia Tech said that we needed somewhere in the neighborhood of 300 to 350 police officers to adequately patrol the city of South Fulton. And so most people say, well, why don't you just hire all the people you need? So I've been in the city before where they just hired any and everybody to be police officers, and most of those folks wound up in prison. And so what we're trying to do is grow the police department organically, right? We want to make sure, and we weeded out a lot of people, you know, since we started growing our ranks. And so not everybody is South Fulton strong, right? And so we're trying to make sure that we get the best and the brightest. And so having said that, I want to tell you a few of the things that we're working on in the city of South Fulton. Everybody knows about our police headquarters, and I bet everybody's saying, they ain't did nothing. What y'all doing? So I have to go to this guy right here. This guy right here to get permits. We should be tearing down the Jackson Music Store building soon. Yeah, and so I'm really excited about that because I had the opportunity. For those of you that don't know, we bought the 9 acres of land right around the Jackson Music Store. And our expectation is to build police headquarters there. Well, you know, you have to get land disturbance permits and all of these different things before you can do anything. But the director of CDRA has been gracious in terms of giving us a demolition permit. And so we expect to get started with the demolition of the Jackson Music Store within the next 30 days or so. And so I think that's going to be huge. And for those of you that, some of you probably have not seen the renderings for police headquarters, let me tell you what my vision was, and then they put it on paper. I did not want a police headquarters that looked like a big standalone building. I wanted police headquarters to be interactive with the community. And so, and I think I can talk about this, about the linear park. Okay, so I can talk about it? Okay, so we bought the 9 acres of land for police headquarters, and right behind that is 14 acres that we expect that a linear park will be built in. And what I've asked the architects to do was to make sure that we had walking trails that go around police headquarters, around the linear park. I didn't want just, like I said, a standalone building. So one of the things that we're doing, we'll have a little pocket park right near police headquarters. We're asking that we have a place where you could come as residents and do internet exchanges. Now, if you don't know what internet exchanges are, is if you wanted to sell your VCR, anybody still got a VCR? You still got your VCR? Does it play? It plays?
It's on the shelf, but it plays.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to sell your VCR on the internet,
It's a safe place.
you could go to this little space around police headquarters. There'll be lights and cameras set up there for you to go sell your VCR.
Okay.
All mine are stacked up in the garage. And my wife refuses to throw them out. Why, I don't know. Because she expects to get them fixed one day. Well, yeah, that might be part of it, yeah.
She know what she doing.
She know what she's doing.
Like the five.
She collected junk, that's what she's doing. But anyway, and so, yeah, the walking trails, and right now, we're going in partnership with Parks and Recs to make that happen. And if we keep our fingers crossed, there'll be a senior center there as well.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
And so, you know, having a senior center right there at our police headquarters, I've asked them to dedicate the front part of police headquarters to a community room, so that if any of you want to come and have your meetings there, you can have it right there in the middle of police headquarters. And so, I've also asked that we get, and this is pie in the sky stuff, y'all. This is what I'm asking for. A solar farm there so that we can, you know, make sure that we power the whole park and the campus there, so that we will save the city money in the long run, because our goal right now is to become totally electric as far as our vehicles go in the next 5 to 10 years. I've been looking at other police departments throughout the country that have total electric patrol cars. And I don't think the technology is quite there yet, but if we build the right kind of infrastructure in our police headquarters, then we'll be able to use those solar panels to power our patrol cars, which is something that isn't happening anywhere in the country. And so we're really trying to look for a cutting-edge way that we can build our police department in terms of technology and other different things. And I'm really excited about the direction of the police department. We just opened up our real-time crime center, where we're able to sit down and look at crime patterns and trends in real time. I think some of you may have seen the story with IBM, where they're coming in and actually building out the platform in cooperation with the police department. And so we'll be going up to New York to look at NYPD's real-time crime center. The police chief has invited me up so that we can go take a look at some of the things that they're doing up there also. So I'm really excited about that. One of the things that I'm most excited about, though, is the direction of crime along the Old National Corridor.
Yes.
So in the past 5 years, when I first got here, the crime along Old National accounted for 59% of the overall crime for the entire city. That was just along the Old National Corridor. The crime, I want to say that one more time, the crime around Old National accounted for 59%. It's down to 38% now. right? We were averaging about 8 murders along the Old National Corridor. I think last year we had 5. We had 5, which is still a reduction, but in the year prior to that, we only had 3. We've had some challenges in certain areas, and I'll say right now, we've been working with the management and the HOA over at Camelot because, quite frankly, it was starting to become a challenge, and we've seen some success over the past 5 to 6 months there. Now, what I will say about Camelot, where is Captain McCain? Captain McCain, who's standing right here, who's one of the patrol commanders, has been taking his troops, and they've been going from door to door in every building in Camelot, removing people that are sleeping in the doorways and arresting them every night. And that's something that Captain McCain actually started on his own. And so we have one detail after another targeted at crime reduction, and certainly Camelot has to be the cornerstone of that. Now, a lot of y'all called me complaining about the speeding along Old Bill Cook. Now, let me tell you what we did. We put our traffic unit back there. And we've written close to 200 speeding tickets back on Old Bill Cook alone. They've been back there every day. You know why? Because I've been listening on the radio myself. And I know they've been back there pulling people over. Now, I've also gotten some complaints from some of y'all who called up and said, well, I wasn't talking about me, I was talking about them. I don't know who them are. But if you go down Old Bill Cook Street, chances are you're going to get a ticket. So you can't call me and say I was talking about them, because I don't want to hear it. So the next thing I want to address is y'all brought up the tractor trailers. And I want to say this, because our police officers have been nice. They've gone to people who've been parking tractor trailers in our communities and telling them you have to move your tractor trailer. You cannot keep it in the community. Now, what I've told that gentleman right there, what I've told that gentleman right there, and what I've told that gentleman right there, right here, I'm done being nice. So if there's a tractor trailer parked on a city street inside of a community, it's to be impounded immediately. Okay? We ain't knocking on no doors, we're not putting stickers on nothing. None of that is gonna be impounded. So if you call 911 and the officer comes and there's a sticker on there, take a picture of that sticker and text it to my phone. Y'all all know how to text, right? And everybody in here just about has my cell phone number, right?
Yeah.
Huh? Oh yeah, you don't have my cell phone number? I give it out at every community meeting. Where you been? It's 404-558. I'm gonna do it quick since y'all ain't prepared. 5535. It's 404-558. Take a picture of it and send it to me. And when you send it to me, I'm gonna deal with him, and I'm gonna deal with him.
Okay, if it's a condominium, can you help with that?
You can't have tractor trailers in any. Well, the condominium is private property,
So what do you do when you have issues like that can harm people, or like a car sitting up on a jack and it's just been sitting there?
Well, see, that's a hazard.
Yeah.
And so kids, I look at it this way. If it's something, because I came through there once before and there was a bunch of trash inside, and I had our beat officers come by and impound that vehicle. Anything that's potentially a health hazard or safety hazard to children, we're gonna deal with that.
Thank you.
And so, listen, I've gotten far too many complaints about these tractor trailers, and I'm not playing nice about it anymore. So at the end of the day, it really comes down to your quality of life in many of your communities. I don't like seeing them in my neighborhood, because that's not where they belong. They belong in commercial areas. And so, at the end of the day, we're going to help you increase your quality of life, and they're gonna help you. Right, gentlemen and ladies? Right, gentlemen? Okay, so there shouldn't be any excuses about tractor trailers being in the community after y'all call 911. Please call 911 before you start sending me pictures though. Because then what I'm gonna do is just pick up the phone and start fussing at them, and they're gonna say, Chief, we ain't got no call. And, you know, then I have to come back and apologize to them. Because I done did that before. So, so the speeding, I dealt with the tractor trailers and the crime issues. I'm just really excited about the direction of Old National, and people can say whatever they want. This is one of the few places where I'm comfortable allowing my wife to go and shop every day. Mr. Day, where you at?
Yeah.
Hell, he didn't leave. And Mr. Day will tell you, he see my wife. My wife see Mr. Day every day at Walmart. So I saw Mr. Day again today. And she comes down here, she shops, she gets her nails done, and I'm very comfortable with it. And I wouldn't have an issue with it moving forward either. So as we move forward, I want to make sure that all of our communities are engaged in our crime fighting process. That's one of the reasons that we're really starting this real-time crime center, because it's one thing for me to educate our police officers on our crime patterns and trends, but it's something completely different to educate the public. Because just our police officers being educated, that model is not sustainable. It only becomes sustainable when you all become engaged also. And that way we start to realize the real crime results that we want to see. And that makes Artie's job much easier. And that's one of the things that I love about working with Director Jones, the Economic Development Director, because we kind of have a shared vision. We want to go through and clean up certain areas and bring the right kind of businesses in, and that should translate to a better quality of life for everybody in here. So, as your police chief, I'm proud to be here, and thank you all for allowing me to serve as your police chief.
Do you?
They wanted to do questions after.
Okay.
You're a hard act to follow.
My name is Gordon Burkett. I'm the solid waste coordinator for the city of South Fulton. So I work for Antonio Valenzuela. We're in the Public Works Department. But actually, I work with everybody up here on the stage today and your councilwoman. And thank you for inviting us tonight, Councilwoman Bell. So we do residential collection for 40,000 households in the city of South Fulton, monthly bulk collections, but also we manage Merck Miles Senior Citizens Convenience Center. And we also manage a number of trash receptacles throughout the city in heavy corridors. And last but not least, we do manage the street sweeping process as well. So in the city, and actually in District 5, in most streets that we service them twice a month for mowing and litter collections, and actually twice a month for street sweeping. However, you have some of the most heavily traveled corridors in the city, and so we've increased our service. So on Old National Highway, we actually street sweep that every week. We have litter collection on Old National now, and this is all in the last month, every week, as well as Beseda Road as well. It's easy to get in touch with us. We actually, one of the things the mayor talked about earlier is our community relations specialists, I think is what they call them now, the CRS group, which you can get through our 311 number, that's the 470-552-4311. There are 3 prompts on there. Number 1 is for residential solid waste collections. Number 2 is Merck Miles and bulk waste. And number 3 is everything else. So you should not have an issue with somebody picking a phone up to talk to you. And then they'll make sure, and those ladies are very intentional about this, making sure that whatever concerns or wishes come from you as our customers and residents are shared with the department that handles that particular item, and that we get back to you in a timely manner. One thing I would differ with what the mayor said earlier, our system we use is called Track Easy for solid waste services. And the reason for that is we share that information directly with Waste Pro, who's our provider. So I see that information as well as Waste Pro, And the reason for that is so that we can address whatever those needs or concerns as aggressively as possible. I don't want it to get caught up in an email or anything like that. We need to go ahead and fix that. Our service is we touch probably more people every week than any other department, and we take that very seriously. And it's a lot to coordinate, but we want to make sure that we're providing that high quality service. So we'll be reaching out a little later this year, going back out to community meetings. If you got an HOA you'd like me to come out and talk about how to put your garbage out and all the things, how to keep your neighborhood cleaner, I'm happy to come out and talk about that as well. And thank you again for inviting us.
So again, thank you so much. It's a wealth of knowledge, but it's needed for our community. Because again, in order for us to move together, we have to be educated. We have to have the information to the questions. And so without our last but not least panelist is actually our Parks and Recreation Director, Mr. Jannard Turner. And I'm gonna turn it over because we've got a lot of big things happening right here in Burdette Park.
So they say the best for last. Thank you, Councilwoman Bill. My name is Jannard Turner. I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation. And we're in D5. We've done a lot in D5. I've been here now about 13, 14 months, and I have been on go since I walked through the door. That rhymes, doesn't it? That rhymes. So let me start off by just kind of tell you what we've been doing over the last 13, 14 months. So when I came in, at this location, we've serviced last year, my program manager, Patrick Swanson, is in the back. We serviced over 1,200 youth at this facility. Think about it. When you break down the numbers between after school, summer camp, right? Our youth basketball sports league, right? Our BWAP program and Workforce Academy. That was here, right here at Burdette. Over 1,200 youth were impacted. Over 1,200. That's amazing. Yes. Prior to us getting here, I think maybe it was 200 or 300, maybe Patrick, if I'm not mistaken. So we were impactful in this community. So let me start off by telling you what we kind of do. Let's start out with a BWAP program. So when I came aboard, one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to start our rendition of a midnight basketball league. Yes. But I wanted it to be non-traditional. So we call it Ballin' with a Purpose, right? So it's not like Atlanta. Atlanta is watered down. We came up with our own version. We call it Ballin' with a Purpose. And we're ballin' with a purpose because we use basketball as a carrot to get them through the door. And once we get them in, we talk about financial literacy, mentorship, right? Record expungement. We brought organizations like Urban League of Greater Atlanta, Chris 180. So we had organizations in this room to pour into these young men prior to them going playing basketball. Nobody else was doing that. Everybody else was just going to play basketball. We actually had gang members in our BWAP basketball league. So if they're in here playing ball, they're not out there committing crime. That's the key, right? That's the key, right? Right. That's we actually had gang members in here playing basketball. I talked to them. Am I right, Patrick? They were in here. I was excited for them to be in here. You know, we would talk, I would pour into them, we would bring different wraparound service. So that's all about our wraparound service. We want to bring them in, but we want to give them resources. You know, record expungement. I mean, we want to give them some information about housing. We want to give them information about if they're hungry. We want to feed into them. So that's our wraparound services. Nobody else is doing that. So we don't have the normal midnight basketball league. On top of that, what we want to do is build generational wealth. So how do you do that? Well, you have the first Workforce Academy. So basically what we did, we brought a school right here in Parks and Rec. And we have classes right here in this room. That starts in April. It's right here on this table. We graduated 42 students right here at Burdette, right here on this field, and right here in this room last year. 42. $35 an hour, electrical engineering. Nobody else is doing that. Nobody else is doing that in Parks and Rec. They have built a workforce academy, a trade school inside Parks. Now, what did we do this year? We expanded. Electrical engineering, HVAC, carpentry. We've expanded. So every year we'll add, next year welding. So all we're doing is building a school. Everybody can't go to college. Everybody can't afford college. It's free. Council made this free. This is a free program. So this year what I'm doing is Workforce Academy, the high school edition. Because after going to the high schools, I realized the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th graders don't have anything to do. So guess what they do? They can come to Bird and get that trade and go and make $35 an hour. That's what they can do. That's what we're gonna do. So this year we're doing Workforce Academy for high school students. The flyer is here. We started registration last week. We're filling up fast. We do have carpentry, HVAC, and electrical engineering, and we're doing welding starting next year. So every year we'll expand that until we have all the trades. Again, everybody, we did that because everybody can't afford school. But a trade, that's generational wealth. So it's about generational wealth. Because I tell my son all the time, listen, I can't pass my degrees down, but guess what I can pass down? I can pass down that trade. He can pass down that trade. That's generational wealth. So those are the type of things that we're doing in D5. We're building generational wealth. Those are a few things, after school program, of course, summer camp program we're doing. Also, what we've done in tourism capital improvement projects. This room is actually about 5 or 6 months old. We did refurbished painting. We did the floors, the carpet. We're still in the process of doing a number of things in the front. We're gonna get the building painted outside. And also, as you can see right here, we have a cardio fitness studio, $75,000 worth of equipment that's going in this front room up here. We've already done the floor, so we hope to have the equipment in over the next month or so. So this is impactful for the community. Think about this. We've never had this before in D5. This is new. This is an investment that the council has made in the community that says, listen, we believe in health and wellness. So this is $70,000 worth of commercial equipment. This is LA Fitness. We just brought LA Fitness to D5, but y'all ain't clapping. This ain't nothing but LA Fitness. So we're doing this also, I went before council and I said, you know what? We need a pool in D5. We need an outdoor pool. So they said, okay. So we have an outdoor pool and a splash pad coming this year. Listen, D5 is hot. D5 is hot. We're doing a lot of things in terms of programming in D5. We're gonna have the outdoor pool, the splash pad. I am looking forward to that. Kids on this side of town need to swim too. We shouldn't have to go all over to work tomorrow, right? That's right. So now we'll have a pool down here. We'll have an outdoor walking track. The plan is to put the pool down here, put that splash pad, and do a soft surface walking track. So while your kids are in the pool, you can get your sexy back by going and sitting over here and walking around the track. We believe in health and wellness in D5, right? So we're doing a number of things here. Like I said, we have our Workforce Academy. We're signing up fast. It's right here in this room on Thursdays. We go from 6:30 to 8:30 on Thursdays. And they eat. Now, we don't provide this Miss Mumford spread, but they do eat. I think we had a couple of people in here that was in the class, that took the class. Mario was actually in the class, so he can tell you a little bit about it. But we're being impactful in D5. We're going to continue to pull into our youth.
Thank you.
We target ages 5 through 28. But we had individuals in the program that graduated from the program that was 65 years old. So listen, whoever that director is, he's doing good work. And tell him I say he's doing good work. But I want to thank Councilwoman Bell. Oh yeah, you know what? Also we have PAD. So listen, we've introduced PAD in the city of South Fulton. They will be doing, youth ages 14 and up throughout the city of South Fulton. They'll be housed at every facility. They'll be doing our programs 14 and up. We're gonna partner with them. They'll be doing their rendition of BWAP. We're gonna have a girls BWAP program that will be housed at Sandtown. But do we welcome them into the family? I know he's not probably here tonight, the executive director, but I'm excited about PALS. I grew up in PALS. That's our way of fostering the relationship between the youth and police. That's very important. And I think that age group needs it, 14 and up. So we'll be partnering with them. We have a lot of programs. They'll be housed here, Welcome All, Creel Park. So you'll see that coming up soon as well. And with that being said, I thank you.
Thank you so much to the Director of Parks and Rec. So we are really doing the work here in the city of South Fulton, specifically District 5. One last thing that we will be adding to Burdett Park, because I came in, I wanted to bring some fresh ideas to our district. We will also be adding an arcade. We want to give the kids an opportunity to come in, play basketball, be active in the community and playing with football as well. But sometimes they need a little extra time to just play and be a child and be a kid in a safe environment. So that's an additional expansion that we're also going to be doing here at Burdett Park. And just to piggyback on that, I also have the Tommy Nobis Center. They will actually be providing additional resources, wraparound resources here in District 5. And so I have Heather. She's going to come up and tell you about Tommy Nobis Center and what we're going to be offering free to our community for the summer.
Councilwoman Bell, thank you. My name is Heather Douglas, and I am the manager of a youth program in Tommy Nobis Center. Tommy Nobis Center is located in Marietta, and we have been in existence for about 47 to 49 years, and we serve persons with disabilities. So I have a question. How many of you, with a raise of hand, know someone with a disability? Everybody, right? How many of you think you know somebody with a disability, they just ain't told you? There you go, that's the doctor. So, what we do, we work with students ages 14 to 21, and we go into the school system and teach them pre-employment services. So we talk about the soft skills, time management, decision making, how to communicate with your boss, things of that nature that will help them when they graduate from high school. Now here's the interesting part. Most of these services reside in the northern parts of our wonderful state. So for us, it's kind of hard for our students to get north. So we have been granted a $2 million grant from the governor's office. $2 million to serve residents of Fulton, DeKalb, and Clayton counties, specifically South Fulton. So I am here today to ask you, if you know of any youth ages 14 to 21 who has a disability, or you think they got a disability, they are able to come here. We are partnering with Parks and Rec to have a summer program, free. They pay nothing. They get breakfast, they get lunch, they get the opportunity to learn some skills. And it's an extension from high school that they usually get during their high school semesters. The other thing that is really important, and I'm a parent of a child, well, he's an adult now, 22, of a disability. And even though I have worked in this field for 30 plus years, I have needed resources and couldn't get them. So it's very, very important that we serve persons with disabilities. They can work, they can do everything that able-bodied individuals can do. They just need some assistance. So that's why we're here. So our summer program that's going to be here will be in July 15th through the 26th. And it's 8:30 to 2:30. We take them on field trips. We bring in guest speakers. We have a lot of fun. They'll be able to play basketball, those who want to play basketball out there. But it's a really good time. And again, it is free. Nobody pays anything. It's just free. We also have a spring break. So our spring break session is going to be at the Center for the Visually Impaired, and that is downtown Atlanta. So I know some people are like, that's just too far. Well, we give gas cards, and we give MARTA passes, and it's free. So that's another resource. And then for those individuals who like baseball, the state of Georgia Vocational Rehabilitation is an agency that works with persons with disabilities. They are providing a day at the Braves game, free to the students again. So we will be, this location will be one of the pickup locations that we will be able to take our students to this game. They get a chance to eat and watch the actual baseball game on the state diamond. So I kind of like that. That is June 30th. And again, it's all free, okay? So if you know of anybody, or if you think you know of somebody, please feel free to come over to my table and get some information. And if you are an adult, or you know of an adult that has a disability, we do have resources for adults as well. So thank you again, Councilwoman Bell, for inviting us to this meeting, and I look forward to speaking to you guys soon. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay, I can't answer.
All right, thank you, Ms. Heather. Thank you for coming over the center. So at this time, we are going to open it up for questions, generalized questions. If you have a specific question that's just relevant to you, we're gonna ask that you hold it, and you'll be able to speak with each of these beautiful shining faces after we conclude the meeting. So we'll start with you, Ms. Josette.
Do I come up or stay here?
You can stay there and just stay over whoever. The question is for, we just ask because we are streaming live, but you come up front and answer.
I'm Josette Thomas-Silva, and I'm from New York City. I came to Georgia in 2020, and I moved into Camelot. You know, Camelot's been a very big focus on your entire agenda, because it happens to be right smack down in the middle of the Old National Corridor, right? Every important person that's here today, I just wanted to ask you, even beg you, if you could possibly help Camelot at this point. Everybody's aware of some of the crimes that's been committed against Camelot, yet most of the city's ordinances is not assisting Camelot in any shape, form, or fashion. Despite the fact that we're private investors that purchase our properties, we're still tax-paying, law-abiding citizens as well. Under the circumstances with Camelot, there's an issue of a very large water bill. Because of the crimes that's been committed against us, we have not been able to even afford a front gate, which, you know, is part of our safety to protect us while we're living there. There are a couple of city agencies that owes us money as far as our HOA is concerned. The Section 8 Housing Authority of Fulton County Section 8 program owes Camelot money. The Veterans Administration Agency owes Camelot money for units that they have on our properties. Right now, we are very stressed for finances, and I would like to request that either these agencies, you know, bring their accounts up to date and provide us with those funds to see if we can get a gate put at our front gate. As we, secure our front gate, at that point, I'm hoping that the City of South Fulton Police Department would be able to do a door-to-door and perhaps clean up all the vagrants and trespassers and squatters and addicts and, everybody else who's just found themselves living there for free at our expense. Now, if any of these things were to take place, I'm almost certain that it would be assisting with the task and everything that I just heard here today. Because Camelot is a very nice place. I think that it can be nice again if we can ask the city to give us some help. And that's all I'm here to ask, just for help from the city. I've spoken to the mayor, I've spoken to the chief. We've expressed our concerns. It's a little snail pace, but we have something moving along at the moment, so we're hoping that's a good sign. But we definitely need help to put up that gate, and we need the finances to put up our gate. If you could help us with that.
Personally, I met with a group of the board members, and I know you have the HOA president, so that is the plan. Week 2 for me in office, I sat with some of the board members and discussed more concerns as it relates to Camelot. I'm very familiar with Camelot because I've been out there in the past, even before election or campaign, because I believe in being active in the community. So we are trying to work out some things, but I think as far as crime, I know Chief Meadows and the South Fulton Police Department, I know for certain I've been out there the last couple of weeks. As far as going stairway or door to door to combat. There is also in the legislation now on the Capitol that we're working on, and I'm a supporter out of 4 individuals in a specific council for the Squatters Reform Act. So we are going to be cracking down significantly on squatters in the city of South Fulton by any means necessary. I'm working with Chief Meadows. They have a strategic but aggressive plan on cleaning up not just Camelot, but the entire Old National Corridor. So I think it goes into conversations. I did sit down with some board members, as mentioned a few weeks ago, and residents, some of them are here, to kind of discuss what are the concerns of Camelot. What is it that we can do for Camelot, being that it is privately owned? And so I've also spoken with our city manager and assistant city manager to find out what are some things that we can do as far as offering assistance. And so that portrait has not been finished, been painted. We're still trying to figure out what a strategic plan is. And one thing with Ms. Tabitha, who's here today, the HOA president, we plan on meeting in the next couple of days, just to sit down. One thing I asked the board members are, what are your plans? What are your actions? What are your plans? What do you have in the pipeline that can aid the residents? For me, I'm very concerned about a lot of the seniors, a lot of the residents, a lot of the families, a lot of the children. I know it's not that many children, but I'm concerned with everybody in District 5 and the entire city. So what can we do is the question that we need an answer. So by having the conversation, I hope that we can get more information. I'm going to be honest, the first meeting, it was a meeting. We did not get as far as we should have gotten in a 2-hour time frame. But myself, as well as the director of CDRA, also met with the board members. So, we have to do some groundwork behind the scenes with HOA, the board members, before we can fully create a plan and execute that plan in Camelot. So it is a concern. It's a concern of mine, whether it's in office or not in office, because my concern is residents and people. But Chief Meadows, if you want to definitely mention some things that you want.
Listen, I'm never, ever going to tell a community that I wouldn't partner with them. Now, when I say partner, that means we're in this together. That doesn't mean I'm in it by myself. Now, I sat in this very room right here with members of the Camelot Board, and we came up with a plan. And part of that plan was that we were going to come back through, sticker and impound all of the abandoned vehicles. That didn't happen. I made my staff available because what some people told me was that they were afraid because they were being confronted by people. I made my staff available and it didn't happen. If we're going to partner in this thing together, the one thing that I know and understand is that it's one thing for me to hold up my end of the bargain, but you got to do it too.
That's right.
If part of our plan was to impound the stolen vehicles, because Captain McCain came out there, he's been clearing out the hallways every day. The residents have to let us know who's squat and in which units. Listen, that requires communication. And if the people in the board aren't willing to communicate to that end, then I'm in this partnership by myself. And that's not a real partnership. So, I hear what you're saying, and I understand the crimes that have been perpetrated. I can't go in depth into the investigation right now, but, you know, at the end of the day, it's going to require more than well, let me not say mine, because I'm not doing the work, they are. And let me introduce these gentlemen, because I apologize, gentlemen. We have our deputy chief who's here tonight, Eddie Smith. In the back over here, we have Captain McCain, who's the Gray Shift Commander. He's over patrol. The Gray Shift Patrol, we have Major Patricia Dixon. She's the newest person to the command staff in the city of South Fulton. She's over our technology division. We have our Director of Public Information Officer, Kayvon Arnold, sitting here. We have Corporal Garvin, who's here from the Community Policing Section. We have Corporal Elliott. We have Major Massey, Captain Massey in the back, who's over our Special Operations Division. We have Lieutenant Wyatt, who's over our Community Policing Section. And then we have Major Gary Johnson, who's the Patrol Major. And then we have Captain Derek Rogers in the back, who's he's the commander over our Community Policing Section. All of these people, did I miss somebody? Oh, I'm sorry, Major English sitting right here in the middle, who's over our Office of Professional Standards. You have a large section of the police department, and all these people, all these ladies and gentlemen play a part in that partnership that I'm talking about. But I'm not going to be in this thing, well, we're not going to be in this thing by ourselves, right? And so, you know, that's about all I'm going to say about that.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Cheryl Walker, and I'm in Mallory Block. So I have two departments, and then I'm going to talk to Antonio after. As it relates to the sanitation plan and our billing this summer, are we clear we're not going to get a double bill this homeowners?
Sure.
Has that been worked out? Because it came out of my escrow and my mortgage, and I also paid it on the first day.
Okay, so the question is, are we going to double bill houses? Okay, so I want to be clear. There's only one bill that's ever gone out. It's gone out from the Fulton County Tax Commissioner to the owner of record, okay? Now, this is public information that's out there. And what escrow companies do, they protect their investment, which is your investment too, okay? So they want to make sure that your property, if for any reason that you need to sell that property, that it's free and clear for them to do so. So what they do, and a lot of times, this is something that you signed when you closed on your home, if you have a mortgage, that you allow them to act on your behalf to pay this bill, okay? So again, we have not reached out to any escrow company as it relates to that. We've only reached out directly to the homeowners that are in the city of South Fulton. So that's, if you have a concern like that, I would encourage encourage you to reach out to your escrow
I
company.
have talked to my mortgage company and told them not to leave it.
And then that typically will do it.
If it comes in my mailbox, which is the only bill I get in my mailbox, I will pay it. But I told them, do not take anything out of my escrow other than my taxes and those kind of things, my home.
Agreed.
Okay, I just making sure. Number two, public works, I keep hearing about the increase in cutting grass and whatever. I closed on March 18th, y'all, I went to the closing table with College Park on every piece of paper I had and realized I was in the city of South Florida. I live on the other side of 85 on Flat Shows. The first 2 blocks up to Buffington and up to the library, gorgeous. Between the library and the Union County line, only on the right side of the street is park. Now, I don't know if y'all have edges, grass growing all in the street, all through the sidewalks, the trees need to be cut back. I can't even walk up to the library if I wanted to. Trash everywhere, because on the other side of major 2 condo communities, they keep that side clean. When you turn on Mallory and I go right into my subdivision, even though it's a trash can, it's just trash all the way down to Mallory. And those trees need to be cut back against those lines. Internet is always flickering and electricity. I've been saying this for 6 years. And inside of Mallory is 2 public places that the city has, because a creek runs through the front of that. Y'all need to come back in there and clean that up. So I'm just saying, I can hear you picking up trash and you cutting grass, but it's not chopping grass. You got to edge it, you got to clean it up, you got to get the leaves up. It looks awful. And it has for 6 years. So I'm just asking for something to be done so that side of the street up to the Union County line, which is only about 1.5 blocks on the other side of Mallory, just look better. The aesthetics just look horrible. That's my, and then for police, one quick.
If we have Mr. Public Works to answer the question.
Okay. No, me and Antonio, we email all the time. He knows me, he knows what I'm gonna talk to him about after. So, all I'm saying, if you, and that is me, I can sing that grass, nobody can cut twice a month. And those street cleaners come later.
Just very quickly, on Flat Shoals Road, I follow your concerns. There are some spots that it doesn't matter what we do, we pick up litter one day, the next day it's litter again. The spot at Mallory Road and Flat Shoals Road is an issue. We have added to maintain every week now under Gordon's responsibility. We are picking up litter every week now. All the roads that we have scheduled with Brightview, which is our contractor for right-of-way maintenance, it's done every 2 weeks. Also, in Flat Shoals, we cut brushes about 3 months ago, so the entire corridor cut. Now the trees that are touching the power lines, we have contacted power companies, so we don't touch those. It is under any power company, they are to cut those out. And there's a little section that we share with Union City. You're correct in that. That area, we constantly discussing with Union City to ensure that they do their part. But we're doing everything possible to do to maintain our cities clean. So in the fall and the winter, the scope of work is different. Now, and starting in the summer, on mid-March, we started again to cut the grass, to edge it, and so on. But if you see any issues, you and I have been discussing, and it's my chore to ensure that we up at the right-of-way maintenance. And
I just
we
want that
definitely
part to
welcome
look
everything.
like the rest of the city of Southfield.
I got you. And I want to see it as well.
And just, can I have, ask the chief a quick question?
Chief?
Thank you. I just got my renewal for my homeowner's insurance and car insurance. We go to homeowner's side. Car insurance is out the box. And then I read a lot, I just admit it. So 1 in 4 drivers, 1 in 4 are not insured in the state of Georgia. Georgia has the #1 car insurance and stolen cars.
Correct.
Is City of South Fulton participating in reading the license plates? So we can get some of these people who are out here with expired license plates and are not driving cars for car insurance. So when I open my car insurance on my phone, I don't see it going up $500. And I had to do a lot of talking and take the 6-hour drive and defensive test to get it back down. I'm almost 70 years old. I don't even go out the house about twice a week.
Make you want to stay at home, don't it?
I gotta go to school. But that's all I'm saying. What is the city of South Fulton doing around, and these cars are just going in and out, weaving, you know.
That's a very
I mean, it sounds funny, but I'm very
No,
serious.
I got you. It's a very important question, and in our real-time crime center, we have a lot of license plate readers that's piped into the real-time crime center. And so what we're able to do is put filters on the information that comes in. In other words, it'll tell us when a stolen car passes by, like, it'll tell us when a person's tag is expired. It'll tell us if a person's insurance is expired. We'll put that filter on just for insurance, and it'll sound like it makes a noise every time somebody passes by with no insurance. It goes ding, ding. And so when you're sitting in there with that filter on, this is what it sounds like all day. Ding, 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 ding. Because you keep getting people passing by with no insurance. And so Captain McCain, along with our traffic unit, they've been doing road safety checks in certain areas for that very reason. Because Old National is when we put that filter on, it's literally like every other car alerts on that system. And so we're actually able to sit down and take a look at it. It takes a photograph of it. We're able to do a lot of our police strategies because of the amount of traffic that comes down Old National. Originally, we wanted to put license plate readers with solar panels on them, but it doesn't work. They have to be hardwired on Old National just because of the sheer amount of traffic that goes down that corridor in a time period. Now, when you look at your car insurance rates, the reason that they're so high is because of the region. Not just, they look at zip codes, and that zip code, and they look at the amount of crimes per capita, right? And so if College Park only has 15,000 residents and 30349 is part of their city, and they have 100 cars stolen, well, if you look at the crimes per capita, they're only supposed to have somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 10 to 15 car thefts, whereas they might have 100. And so that means that they're close to 2,000% above what the national average is, and they base those car rates based on those figures. Whereas it doesn't matter if South Fulton is near the national average. If the surrounding jurisdictions are far above it, then that's what impacts your insurance rates. It's not just the city of South Fulton.
Oh, I know that. They said that.
Right.
They said the zip code surrounding has our car insurance sky high.
Right.
Next, Ms. Ross.
This question is for Mr. Venezuela. 2 years ago, we reported to you a pothole at the railroad tracks on the corner of Fellwood Road and Roosevelt Highway. After several appeals, you sent a crew out, and to our amazement, they filled it with sand. Prior to that, an 18-wheeler's back wheel got stuck in that hole, and the train was coming at the same time. There was a collision, and the 18-wheeler burst into flames. Luckily, the driver did not die. After that, your guys came out and filled it with sand. I found unbelievable. We appealed again. Now, remind you, this started 2 years ago. We appealed again for Public Works to come out and fix what was a pothole that's now grown to a crater. Every day, I pull up to that light in that corner, getting ready to make that right turn, I have to be extra careful. Sometimes I leave home very early and it's dark. God forbid someone pulls and they don't have enough room to get around that crater that's developed, and the train comes again, and there's a loss of life. When is Public Works going to come and repair that crater that now is a potential public, it's a nuisance, it's a public nuisance, and quite frankly, we're looking at an accident waiting to occur.
Just to clarify the request that you're making, the rights of way from the CSX actually goes almost all the way down to Stacks Road. Some of Stacks Road belongs to the CSX. So we can't get in and fix something that doesn't belong to the city. But we have been in contact with the CSX, asking them to fix it properly, that crossing. In the past, we have fixed the intersection of Mallory Road and Stacks Road at that location. Then any other repairs, we just can't get in because it's not our right of way. But we've been in communication with them, asking them to repair. So legally, it's not our responsibility to maintain that section.
So what kind of action should we take now? Do we need to take action? Do we need to communicate with CSX on this? Or maybe bring the media in, because we're telling you, we had a tractor trailer whose wheels stuck and there was a horrible accident there and it burst into flame. That should not be. It's a public safety issue at this point.
Right, it is, and I follow you, but unfortunately, it is not the rights of way for the city. That doesn't belong to the city to maintain. The CSX has about, if I'm not mistaken, almost 75-foot buffer on the railroad all the way in. It almost takes up to Stacks Road, to be honest.
Can you give us the contact person that we need to appeal to CSX?
I will.
It needs to be taken care of.
Absolutely, it does.
Thank you.
Want to speak with them afterwards and give them information?
I don't have it with me, but I will communicate afterwards with you.
All righty.
Yes.
Kadia?
Good evening. My name is Kadia Perry. My question is more so to Mr. Lamar and Ms. Heather. So, there you go. So I also live in Hemlock. We have a lot of, not a lot of, but we do have some children that I'm sure my question or my concern isn't just about towards them. I spoke to a teacher who said the issue is during COVID, I know some kids like 8, 9, 10 that don't know how to read. And so I know the teacher told me that during COVID, a lot of kids just fell along the wayside because either they just didn't have family support, making sure that they were learning and being proactive with their studies, and parents that just didn't know. They didn't know, they're not computer literate. So I know I talked to Councilwoman Bell, and she was saying that she gave me a whole list of things I didn't know was going on here. And so my question is, are there any resources that are helping? It's not just them. I'm sure it's kids all in this district in that age group that cannot read. Are there any resources that will be brought to Burdett to help those kids? I've heard Ms. Denard say that 14 to 18 or 14 to 28 different programs. But what about the younger kids?
I can't answer that specifically because I don't know, but I can find out. I know that there are some agencies that work with that younger population. The reason why a lot of people target 14 and 21 is because at 14 we know frontal lobe is named frontal lobe. And then by the time they get to 21, some kids age out of school at 21. So that's why a lot of agencies work with that age group. But there are some that work with that younger population. So I can find out. I can give that information to Denard or to Councilwoman Bell.
Okay, so that's actually a great question. So you're absolutely right. I taught school for 4 years, and the pandemic absolutely destroyed in terms of the math scores, the reading scores. You have kids there in the 8th grade reading on the 2nd grade level. So one of the things that I want to do going into the next school year is start Saturday schools here, right? Bring tutors in specifically geared towards math and reading. We got to get our reading scores. You know, these kids cannot read. They're not reading on grade level. Specifically reading lyrics, not reading comprehension. A lot of them know how to read, but they're not comprehending the words. So we got to be very specific when we talk about that. But the goal is to bring in tutors and have Saturday school. Have Saturday school here for ages of 6 and up. Anyone that want to sign up, the class will be for free. You spoiled it for me because I was gonna go before council before that in the next 4 or 5 months. But that's what we want to have Saturday school that are geared specifically because those kids have not caught up. We're what, 2 or 3 years after the pandemic, but they're not caught up yet. So we want to engage those students, bring them into Saturday schools, and even in our after-school program, put the tutors in our after-school program as well, because our kids in our after-school program are not reading on the grade level they need to be reading on as well. So yes, ma'am, we're going to do that. Yes, ma'am.
And to piggyback on that, not only for our children, our parents.
Yes.
We have a lot of parents, and I have 15 years of education, as I've explained before. We need these resources wraparound for the entire family. And so piggybacking on what Mr. Turner mentioned is those are things we're trying to bring. We know that there's a need, that's an insecurity in our own communities and neighborhoods, but we also have to have programs available for our parents, our seniors. You know, it's as technology continues to rise and we get new additions to our world and the world of technology and AI, we want to make sure that everyone is kind of on the same level. So we're going to be doing classes for our seniors to make sure they know how to operate a computer, know how to work their cell phone, know how to look at Zoom and actually be able to get on these new devices and so forth. So that's one thing that we will be incorporating. In addition to that, the tutoring. In addition to that, I work with individuals with disabilities, have been doing that for well over 10, 15 years. So we're bringing a combination of programs, but we also have to educate not only our young adults and our teenagers, we gotta educate our parents too, because if not, we will educate them here at Burdett, and then you have to reintegrate them back. So we want to make sure that we're providing services, which is why we have Friends of Old National, which is why we have each and every one of you, so that you can bring those ideas in so that we can execute. Yes, ma'am. I forgot my time. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, I want to know, is it illegal to take the door off that's in the common area when somebody keeps locking it?
Is it illegal to take the door off in the common area of a home?
No, in the common, if someone keeps locking it.
That's gonna be a Chief Jones question.
All right, I gotta understand the question. You said, is it,
If I ask, I live in a complex, common door, the hallway door, and someone keeps locking that door, they put a lock on it.
so the lock is illegal, but taking the door off would be too. Yeah.
Is that building 12? You talking, is that building 12?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so the lock would be illegal, but taking the door off too, because that's a fire stop.
Yes, ladies.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kelly Rousey. I've lived on Hampton Court for 24 years, and before that, 5 years on Flat Shoals Road. So I am South Fulton. I've also been teaching for 29 years, and my concern and question, I think, is for Mr. B. Maybe, I don't know. On Hampton Court, when you come down to the end of the street, there is a school zone sign and a flashing light. Then when you turn right, there is not another signage, light, anything until you get down to the end of this street. You've already passed the school and the light's facing away from this direction. So if the light's not on when you turn right, okay, sorry.
Okay.
The light's not on when you turn right, you don't know that it turned on until after you've gone through all the cameras, and you end up right down here at the end by the Meadows Way. So, and also I have filmed and texted my neighbor here when the lights are inconsistent. So they're on at 5 o'clock some days, they're off at 5 o'clock some days, they're on at 6:30, it's just inconsistent. And then again, if you leave out of one, and if you leave out of her exit, which is, Old Carriage Drive, there's nothing. There's no light, there's no sign, there's nothing. And I used to drop my dog off her every day and go to work that way. So of course I got a ticket because no light, no sign, no nothing. My mind is on getting to work on time. I didn't even see a light until I got to the end of the street, right down here. So, and then we had the light and sometimes it's not working. So we just need another light and sign at Burnett Ridge Drive, Old Carriage.
You said which street is that?
Old Carriage Drive and Burnett Ridge Drive, kind of by the tennis courts. So there's one on Hampton Court, but then there isn't another one into this one. So then there's a street, a four-way stop, tennis courts, all in there, no signage anywhere.
Well, we would not put a flashing sign there, but what we would put there is a photo enforcement sign there. You must have been speeding down through there.
No, I wasn't. I was not.
Oh, it just gave you a ticket for nothing.
Driving, just getting in the school zone because I didn't even know that the lights were on, that they were up, until after I had already passed it, but I wasn't speeding.
Yeah, sometimes when you'll see like gaps in the signage as people are turning out of certain subdivisions. As we identify those locations, typically what we'll do is just go put across from that intersection a photo enforcement sign there to kind of let you know that area is covered by the.
It's kind of odd though that they put one at Hampton Court, but not at that street because that is where the school zone actually starts. Because there's a school right down that way.
Right.
What's the name of the school? Start with the. There's a school off to the right, which has been there. So it's like the sign should have been and the light should have been there.
And it's probably because somebody complained about that. Someone probably got a ticket there and complained that there was no signage there. And so as usually those complaints crop up is what we typically respond to. Because as you could imagine, in every school zone, we have street. And not everybody, some people are actually able to see the signage as they come out, and some aren't. And so typically what you'll see is.
Well, this one, if you would just turn the light around, as soon as you hit the hill, before you hit the cameras, you can see the light.
Okay.
It's turned facing the wood.
And as for the flashing signs, the school times are programmed in the system automatically. We'll get the schedule from the schools, they'll put it in, and it'll program. So
Something's really inconsistent about it.
Yeah.
Because when they don't have school, the lights are on. Sometimes when they do have school, the lights are off. It's very inconsistent.
we'll ask the vendor to take a look at it. Now, tell me just for the sake of my own edification, how fast will you go?
36. In the school zone, 25.
It's 25, but we don't give you a ticket until you're 11 miles over the speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she turned out her subdivision, no light.
I think it's good. All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna wrap this up because I wanna get everybody out of here.
Well, I want to say this. Good evening, everybody. My name is Mashawn Johnson, and I am a property manager of Camelot, and I don't have a question. I want to say thank you to the city of South Fulton. That's what I want to say. Camelot has issues, but those are things that Camelot have to deal with. It is not city of South Fulton fault, and for the homeowners, it's not Ms. Bell's fault. It is a fight that we got to fight to stand our ground as property managers and homeowners and make these HOAs do the job. When I tell you I call from every chief, and y'all probably done heard my messages over the phone, raising hand, y'all finally get to put the face with it. I done raised 14 kids here in the city of South Fulton. I'm out of Banneker High School, and one of my sons takes over the basketball team he manages, and he lives in Africa. Once again, I do not want this to leave here and say city of South Fulton is not helping us in Camelot. Yes, they are. It's only so much that they can do because it's private property, but it's other people that need to be held accountable. And I'm gonna fight till the fight is over with. Only thing I ask y'all to do, if it comes to a change for Camelot, because the fines and stuff is way beyond the doubt, and the people getting the money living the fine amount. Just make sure our seniors okay, because they paved the way out there. We have a young lady here who can't look out her window because of the trash, because of everything out there. But I just wanted to say, thank you, City of South Fulton. Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Ms. Bell, for allowing a bus to make it feasible for the tenants there to get here to speak. But some people ain't doing nothing but running the mouth and not coming and being a part of the team that you have. I'm Team Camelot, and I'm gonna be there to the end. And I live in Buckhead. My son take care of me. I live in Buckhead, but I get here because it's a passion for me, and I love what I do, and I care for my senior citizens. Thank you, City of South
I have an appeal to you, to city code enforcement, and to the police department. And my appeal is this. I am so sick of the trash. Now they're using my yard as a dumping ground, where I have had a gutted out vehicle parked on my property, where the police came out and got the VIN number, found out who owned it, but I was told it was my responsibility to have it moved. I am on the verge of tears because I'm so fed up with this. Not only did they dump the truck, but furniture. As soon as that was removed, I go home and there's more furniture on my property. When does it end? And if they can find out who this vehicle belongs to, and they reach out to the person, and the person flat out lied, said that they sold the vehicle 2 months ago, but the police caught them in the lie and said, well, if you sold it, then why is it still registered to you? And why do you still have an active insurance policy? Code enforcement did issue them a citation. They did go to court. This individual, this company, owns a trucking leasing company. So how hard is it for them to come to court with a bill of sale? But that no one asked them about the insurance policy. But yet, I'm still told, it's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to have this gutted out truck removed from my property. Not only that, we got traffic up and down our street like nobody's business. I live on a dead end. I'm on Fairwood Place. We have senior citizens that's been there for years. We never had this problem before up until about 3 or 4 months ago. My Ring doorbell go off like it's Christmas lights. I have recordings from my Ring doorbell. Every 2 minutes, somebody is driving up and down the street going to this house of ill repute, that where they go down there, do what they do, and then they go back out. The same vehicles every single day, all day long. What are we supposed to do? Especially when I'm afraid for my life because I had a trifling ex-husband that took my fence down. So I have no protection. And then I got my grandkids to come over and we built a little makeshift, just a brick wall on the back side of the property where they were dumping this stuff just to keep people from driving through there. But I'm told that, if somebody come on your property and that brick fall down on them, they can sue you. Well, sue me. Because I have nothing else. I mean, what else I'm supposed to do? But I have no trespassing signs up everywhere. And it always comes back to my problem. It's up to me. So now I'm having someone come out and install cameras on the backside. I want to change that law or that code or whatever it is. I want to spearhead that. I want that change because it makes no sense that if a person can throw a bag of trash out their window and the police or code enforcement get the address, they're gonna go knock on that person's door. But somebody dumped a truck in my yard and they got the VIN number and they called them and they know who it is, who owns it, but yet it's my responsibility. So why is that truck not equal to the trash? That law needs to be changed.
Yes, it
Well, I apologize for that, and I do believe people shouldn't live like that. I'm definitely familiar with the Fellwood area. I know a lot of residents in here live in that particular area, and no one should have to live like that. And I'm gonna give my information because I did not do that before Chief Meadows. So my number, take it out, I'm gonna repeat it. It's 470-525.
I got it in.
1974. It's 470-525-1974. My email address is also Keosha. That's 470-525-1974. And my email address is Keosha, Keosha, .Bell, B as in boy, ELL, at cityofsouthfulton.ga.gov. I would like to speak with you directly regarding that, and definitely link you or have a conversation with the director of code enforcement. This is Chief.
So, ma'am, is your property, is it a vacant lot?
No,
It's a house?
I'm on 2 acres.
I'm sorry?
I'm on 2 acres. My
Okay.
house is on one side and the other side is open.
Gotcha. So, and this is for everyone in here. There's a difference between administrative charges and criminal charges, right? And there's a different level, a threshold that has to be proven between something that's administrative and something that's criminal. In other words, if I needed to charge this individual with criminal trespass, I have to be able to prove that he was the one that actually physically put that car there. Now, if code enforcement were to come in, their threshold is a little different. If it's their property, it's their responsibility. So we're looking more along the lines of administrative charges. I don't know why we would not have been able to remove that vehicle from your land if it was abandoned on your property. What I do know is that in certain circumstances, the law prohibits police officers from illegal search and seizures. In order for us to take something off your property, I have to have a warrant to do so, or your permission to do so. In this case, if someone came and abandoned a car on your property and you gave us permission to impound it, I wouldn't have an issue with doing it. I'm gonna have Captain McCain get your address and your information. But under no circumstances will we expect you to live in fear in this city anyway. And so sometimes we have to have these types of conversations to rectify situations like that, okay? All right? We good?
No.
Well then, so if we're not good, then there's something else that's on your mind. Let's talk about that. Okay.
Councilwoman Bell, that's the chief, just one real quick.
Go ahead.
When you're talking about the electric vehicles, with all the cybersecurity and everything that's going on with electric vehicles, do you feel that, have you looked at, are there any, concerns that you can think that could cause you to put the city in danger when we're, trusting officers to drive around with electric vehicles?
You know, those are all things that we have to seriously consider, but here's what I know about most electric car companies. They're not car companies, they're technology companies. And each one of those electric vehicles collects hundreds of thousands of pieces of data. And that's what I'm interested in, because every one of those cars have cameras all around them, and then they collect valuable data about the condition of our roads. This young lady mentioned potholes in the street. It collects that information and it analyzes it. And so as we have patrol cars that are going around collecting that level of data, the question becomes, how do we harness and leverage that data to make our city a better place? And so, to your point, there is a possibility that there could be some security issues. And those are the sort of questions when we go, we'll be flying out to California soon to talk to the chief out there about their total electric fleet and some of the challenges that they've had. What I won't do is invest in that level of technology without doing the proper research on the front end. Yeah.
Make sure it's Tesla.
Tesla? Hey, I bought my wife one, she loves it.
All right, last question, Mr. Kendall, and then we are gonna wrap it up. And again, I know Mr. Jarrell is getting ready to leave, but again, we wanna thank Commissioner Marvin Arrington's office for being present today. We also wanna thank Tommy Nova Center, and we wanna thank each and every one of you guys, men, it's an all men, I'm on the women up there today. So I do wanna thank each and every one of you for being out here. All of our Southwood Police Department, our communications team, works closely with the city of Southwood and getting the press releases, getting the marketing out as well. And then, of course, our communications information guru, Ms. Kayvon. And I don't see the Parks and Recreation directors, but I just want to thank each and every one that helped to make this event a success. But this is all about you all, so definitely give yourselves a round of applause. And I know they say going up on a Tuesday, but today was all about getting information. Tonight was all about really introducing myself, getting the information, learning who I am. Many of you voted for me, so again, it's about providing change and being an impact in our city and our district. We have a lot going on, just specifically here in Burdett. Definitely stay connected. Make sure that you sign in. If you are interested in being a friend of Old National, as we mentioned earlier, please see me before you leave. It's only about 4 people on the list, so don't everybody go over there and sign up. But nevertheless, we want people who are going to be able to speak up for your community, like Miss Eleanor Ross, who is on one of our boards that's been appointed. Miss Mumford, who did the food, she's over Parks and Rec. So a lot of things, we want you to be engaged, because I cannot do this by myself. I need each and every one of you to take part in this. Mr. Kendall, last question, and then we're gonna round up. If you need to see anybody, you will have the opportunity to speak with them directly.
Yes, so, hello everybody, how y'all doing? I hope everybody having a good evening. So when I look around the room, I don't see enough young black people. And would y'all agree? Would y'all like to see it more? And would you like for young black people to be leaders in the community and increase the personal growth in everyone, correct? So I am here to speak on their behalf. My name is Kendall Myers. I go by Minnesota Cummins. I have a personal development company.
Everybody listening, we got somebody speaking.
I have a personal development company by the name of It's Time to Step Up. We build work ethics in our society, personally and professionally, by turning pain into power. So we help people think more so they won't overreact. And I specialize in emotional intelligence. Things that I speak about is how to be successful, how to become leader, how to persevere through hard times, and how to identify yourself and find your purpose by turning your pain into power. And I am here reaching out to look for decision makers, because that's what I search. I see nothing but them in the room. So I'm here to partner with anybody and everybody in the room to make a change and a difference. I can impact anyone from 8 to 88. So I'm here, born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, which is also a very big crime rate. So everything that I'm doing is to spread impact and empower and show people that these kids, that you don't have to subject yourself to violence, you don't have to subject yourself to bad habits, you don't have to steal from your neighbors, but teaching them how to use this and show them that this is the most powerful weapon on the planet. So I am with you again. I have the card. I got a digital QR code. I'm here, because I know we're trying to get up out of here, so I'm talking to everybody at once.
Thank you. And again, please stay tuned. Make sure I have your email because we will be doing email blasts, we'll be doing newsletters, and of course, if you don't receive it, that's because I do not have your information. Our next event will be here at Burnett Park, which is a resource fair and Easter extravaganza on March the 30th, because again, we need all the resources we can to thrive as a community. So thank you all for coming, and have a